Good day, fellas. I hope you are ready for your daily dose of skill, and today we are going to take the first glance, the first look into the new tier 10 tank, Rinoceronte. But you know what? For me, it's going to be Rhino. It's going to be so much easier to spell, and in a way, it's looking like a rhino, right? Big horn in front, easy peasy, right? So that's how we are going to call this vehicle, fellas. Overall, I don't really have too many things to say, apart one thing, I did not really like it Rinoceronte, right? But in the same time, it's completely different thing, right? In a way, tank mechanics are the same, but it's different, right? Sounds weird, but that's how it goes. For equipment, I chosen to use the ventilation, stabilizer, and rotation mechanism because I think this is the right way to play with this vehicle. Without even playing, fellas, I think armor of this vehicle is kind of irrelevant if people are shooting gold at you, so keep this in mind. Also, one very big highlight which I want to say, fellas. If you would pay attention at the shell velocity, and if you would pay attention at the penetration, 268 penetration with the standards, it's humongous. Hit 323, it's not bad, but shell velocity is cut by a half pretty much, so keep this in mind. Also, quick peek to the high explosive penetration, 127. You know what that means? Grille. It can penetrate budget with the high explosives and so on. It's actually humongously good high explosive gun. In fact, I think it is the best high explosive hash out there. Even if we would pay attention at the trash burn, right? For shits and giggles, let's check it out. Trash burn high explosive standard penetration is 92. Can you imagine? This is crazy. Or as an example, Badger, right? Badger high explosive penetration is 130. Okay, not as good as Badger, fellas. Not as good as I thought, but hey, it's pretty damn close for that. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to start our journey, and let's see what is going to be the very first thoughts. Like I said, I haven't played a single battle with this vehicle, so it's going to be quite interesting experience if you would ask me, okay? This is going to be pretty interesting. Although what I heard from the people which played with Italian so far, Art is extremely dangerous for those tanks, and you are losing critical, you are losing crew members left, right, and center, and you are going to lose quite a bit of the models, right? So what you can do, fellas, to prevent that, you can use the big medkit and you can use the big repairs, okay? It's very important information. Okay, speaking about the DPM of the Rhino, I would say DPM is definitely not the point where this tank is shining, but hey, once again, you have this auto reloader feature, right, which is very good. Also, one more thing, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, in the settings, there is quite a bit of new controls, right, which is showing as an example proximity spot range. I would highly recommend to use it because you will know whenever you will get spotted yourself, right? So keep this in mind, my lovely friends, and I would highly recommend to use it. But obviously, in the end of the day, everything is depending on you. Anyways, okay, let's see what we can do, fellas. Prepare now. I mean, my pre-aim is smooth as a... Fellas, my pre-aim is smooth. My pre-aim is very smooth, my lovely friends. Okay, nice. Look, we are having an extremely good angle right here on enemy Rhino and on enemy tanks overall, which is playing here. So all we need to do, fellas, we need to be kind of patient, right, and to try to bang everyone left, right, and center. This is exactly what we are doing. That's completely fine. We took one from the Leo, but in the same time we are feeling just great. Skill, what do you mean we are feeling just great? You see, our guys is making a hardcore pressure like this. What we need to keep in mind though, enemies might try to go super aggressively for us too, and I kind of want to relocate from this position in a way, right? So how about if we will try to escape like this? It's completely fine, fellas, it's completely fine. We managed to escape, and now pay attention at this. Pay attention at this, boys and girls, ladies and gents. Schneid 500 in the face. Relax, we got this, and Schneid 500 in the face. This is actually very, very, very big boy alpha, speaking about this gun. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the very first heavy auto reloader which can punish enemies that heavily, right? Although what we need to keep in mind, you cannot take like the fights. If you are going to approach some kind of fight, you need to understand it's not going to be so simple and so easy, right? If we can say so. Anyways, how about if we will smack him like this? That's completely fine. I don't really care too much, and we are going for another one. Too bad this one bounced. But that's okay, fellas. We have all time in the world of tanks, and I truly lost way too many HP than I should have. But hey, I cannot complain now, right? So far, speaking about the armor on the flat ground, call me dirty, fellas, but I have a feeling armor is not existing so far, right? So keep this in mind, my friends. Keep this in mind. Anyways, what is happening? As you can see, enemy Leo decided to make a hardcore pressure raid here. So we need to keep this in mind. Fellas, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we need to keep this in mind. Anyways, there is a chance the light tank is going to go like this, and I truly want to see this light tank going, fellas. If this light tank will go, we are obviously going to smack him. Beautiful smacking, and Leo finished us off. And so far, what can we say? You flexing, mother trucker. I see Be-Eren or Ba-Eren. I see, mother trucker. So far, fellas, nothing too crazy. Gun accuracy in the ends, you know, it's not looking super good or super bad. Everything is looking quite fine. DPM, in a way, is looking like a big pile of poop, not gonna lie. It's just how it works, it's just how it feels. At least that's what I want to believe, right? And that's what I think. So, yeah, interesting tank. The first pancake, fellas, is in a way burned, but you know what? I will take this 3,200 damage, okay? I will take this 3,200 damage. It's not that bad, and once again, big fat GG for enemy team. Their mediums did a very, very, very good job. The E4 managed to farm everyone which is coming from the field through the rails, so hey, it is completely fine, right? Speaking about the armor, fellas, my biggest question is how the armor is going to look like on this vehicle, right? Anyways, we are top by the damage, which is very, very good, and I'm super duper hyper turbo happy about this. And we are in the top 6 position by experience, which is also completely fine. So let's go, fellas. Let's continue our journey. I want to play like 3 battles with this vehicle and to give my first initial thoughts how this tank is performing. In first battle, I haven't noticed anything bad, well, apart the lack of armor, but in the same time, lack of armor. What do I mean by saying that? I mean, whenever you are playing on the open ground, everyone is going to penetrate you straight in the face, right? It's just how it goes. For those tanks, you simply want to use the gun depression to the tops or to the maximum, and this is exactly what we are going to do. In this battle, we will go here so we can check out how the armor is looking of the turret, right? And I have a big how to say that, fellas? I have my first initial thoughts are with this vehicle is it's not going to be epic armor wise. I think this tank trading points is completely different. By saying it's completely different, I mean the trading point should be the burst of the damage, right? 500 in the face. Also, one more thing, fellas. I see, fellas. I see. You know what? I miss the O server. And if you are wondering what we are going to do today, fellas, speaking about the streams, we are going to play with Rhino for quite some games. So if you want to see my other thoughts, which I'm going to find while playing with this vehicle, feel free to tune in. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. Anyways, no complaints, no regrets, fellas. Let's go. What is my what I am kind of afraid of, fellas? I am kind of afraid of the enemy team capping the base, but before that they need to deal with the tank destroyers and so on, so maybe it's not going to be that bad. Maybe it is not going to be that bad, fellas. Okay, let's see. What do we have here? E50M, beautiful. We punished him, although once again, gold is going through whenever enemies are aiming, right? Keep this in mind, fellas. Keep this in mind. By any means, fellas, don't get me wrong, I do not complain about that. I know this is the part of the world of tanks in a way currently, so it doesn't matter how much would you complain about this, you cannot change anything, so keep this in mind. Keep this in mind, my friends. Okay, I don't really like, what is happening here. I don't really like how our team is making pressure right there. Yep, and exactly as I thought. Actually, this is a weak spot, okay? You cannot hide it. This is actually a weak spot, not a big surprise. Okay, so, fellas, Skill, what is your initial opinion about armor of this vehicle and what do you think about it? I think armor is not working on this vehicle whatsoever. The best highlight about this tank is its burst fire, right? That's what I want to believe. Nothing else, nothing more than this. So I don't really think it's going to be my favorite tank, but hey fellas, I hope it's going to fit with your style quite well, my friends. So yeah, keep this in mind. You see this little shit? This little shit right there, it is a weak spot. Even if I'm not mistaken, even tier 6 could penetrate it. It's like 150 armor or so, if I'm not mistaken, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. So it's very, very, very important highlight of all this, fellas. Trust me on this one. It is very, very, very important highlight. Okay, what do we have here? We have a Fava which is thinking about making a bit of pressure here, and this is exactly what we want. Meanwhile, what do we have here? We have the E50M, which is trying to be maybe a bit more aggressive, but it's okay. All good. He should not be able to hit us in the face, right? This is exactly what I want to believe. We had a bit of the lag of the ping. I believe you noticed how bad it was looking like, but that's okay. It happens, fellas. It happens. So, what to do now? What to do now, my friends? Okay, what we are doing and what is my initial plan, once again, I want to be patient, right? That's all I want to do, fellas. Patience is pretty much the key with this thing. We cannot penetrate that tank that easily, and you see, Arta is splashing you and immediately a crew member is going for vacations. Keep this in mind. It's very, very important information which I want to highlight about this tank. This tank is getting many, many, many critical hits. Overall, Italian heavies will get a lot of critical hits, so big medkit definitely can make your life experience a bit better. Okay, what is happening right here? You see this STB, fellas? My initial plan, fellas, to eliminate this STB right here. All good. All good, relax, take it easy. Even though we are not winning this battle, we are trying to do everything what we physically and possibly can, right? That's all we can do. Now Baza is trying to cross like this sideways, which is not very, very, very good thing. In the same time, you know, it's very, very hard to judge the tank, fellas, in so damn little amount of the game. Skill, why you are saying it's hard to judge the tank? Well, the answer is extremely, extremely simple, at least in my opinion, my friends. Whenever you are judging the tank, right, in the first couple of battles, what you need to keep in mind, my friends, not every single battle you are going to win, right? So once again, armor wise, Rhino, hey, wait a second, isn't the Rhino one of the toughest skin having animals like that, horn in front and so on, and you're supposed to have armor? With this tank you don't. So what is my initial thoughts after 2 battles? This vehicle is not created for a first line in my opinion. Tonza baboon, you mother trucker. Anyways, what I want to say, fellas, my first and initial thoughts is you are not created for a first line with this tank, but still you are a heavy tank. Absolutely, you are, but you cannot take beating, right? It's the same thing like to use the bloody grapes for a wall, or you know, if someone will punch it, it's GG finito, right? So that's what I think about this vehicle. It is not created to take beating. It is assault tank in a way, right? Or the Ninja Turtle. Skill, explain us what the flying F you are saying. Okay, I can imagine Rhino sitting here and waiting until enemies will make pressure, and then you are clipping someone out. You are pretty much saving the HP. At first, you are trying to have some kind of... you are building a good angles, and in a way you are behaving like a Leopard one in a way, right? Because you cannot take beating whatsoever, but you have a great gun. So you are trying to be a bit more passive in the start of the battle. Obviously, by any means, there are some people who just play super aggressively with it, and it's completely fine. There is nothing bad about it, but you get the point what I'm saying, right? So good luck for our team, and let's teleport into the other battle. So far, honestly, big fat disappointment from my side. I don't like this tank. I think it's kaku. But hey, that's only me, right? So let's teleport into the third game, and let's see, maybe we can get something better when we will play safer, right? Let's go. And that's the ending of this battle. By the looks of it, enemy team is stronger, and they are playing better, which is completely fine, fellas. After all, this is the first sniff of the tank, and I will need some time to figure out how is it performing. Is it going to be good or not so good? So once again, what is my opinions about the Italian heavy tank? I think they are a glass cannon, you know. At least that's what I want to believe, my lovely friends. Glass cannon it is. What that means you can do damage, but you cannot take any beating whatsoever. In a way, it's like a grille, literally like a grille, right? You can kind of relocate and everything, but in the end of the day, you are not going to take any beating whatsoever whenever you are getting spotted, right? And what can we say? And nowadays, in the current world of tanks, my lovely friends, I want to tell you one very, very simple thing. Majority of the people, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, is going to shoot the gold rounds, because World of Tanks economy is just allowing that, right? A lot of people have quite a bit of credits, especially those which is having premium days and so on. And there is nothing shameful about that. It's a part of the game, right? I know quite some of you fellas don't like it. I don't really mind gold, although there is other things which I don't really like. But we are not going to focus on this topic for now. We are just trying to figure out how Rhino is performing in the battlefield, right? So far I would give a big fat thumbs down for this vehicle. I don't really think it's going to be super meta tank or something, and fellas, keep this in mind. Even with a tier 8, you can easily penetrate this vehicle. You see this thing, triangle over there, this one, it is a weak spot, right? Even with a tier 8, you will be able to penetrate it. And if we are speaking about the tanks which is having a decent penetration or which is shooting gold, right? You can penetrate it wherever you want to, right? It's kind of similar situation like CS 63, you know, the Polish medium tank. When on paper you have armor, but in reality you don't. Well, same goes for this vehicle. At least that's what I want to believe. But once again, let's try to be so much more passive, and maybe this passive behavior is going to bring us better battle, right? After all, this is the first thoughts, and I will make a video on this vehicle whenever I will mark it. I will say what do I think about it. Do I think it is a great tank, or do I think it is not so great, right? So give me a bit of time, my friends. Anyways, hi there. Beautiful. Can we eliminate him from the game? He's already eliminated. Nice. The 430U is enjoying himself by getting banged from the many guns, which is not the best gaming experience for him, but hey, he kind of deserved it, right? For being so aggressive. So, let's see what we're supposed to do now. I am thinking about approaching the other line now. Why so? Because I don't really think this line needs to be stronger, right? I want to believe, fellas, we can get so much more use from the corner idea, or maybe even from the sniper schnitzel position, right? We are not rushing in this battle whatsoever. I will treat this tank like it has no armor whatsoever. Once again, I don't know, is it a good treatment or is it a bad treatment, but you never know until you will test it out. Gun handling of this tank is definitely not too bad whatsoever. I definitely cannot say the gun is the worst thing on this thing, right? I cannot say the gun is the worst, that's for sure. So here we go. Skill, you have no armor. This tank has no armor, but you are not penetrating your brother from other mother. Well, fellas, we can put the blame on the bad aiming skills or on the RNG. Depends what do you want to complain about, right? So that's fine. Okay, not so good so far. We made only one shot in this battle, and to be fair with you, I'm quite a bit disappointed. But what can you do? Cry every time. Okay, Sheridan is right there, beautiful. I am going to take this position here, excellent, very good. And now we are going to wait until enemies will start making a bit of pressure here and here, right? That's what we want to see, fellas. That's what we want to see. Okay, once again, there is no point whatsoever for us to make a pressure like this. There is no point whatsoever to make a pressure for almighty Jack Pizda. I don't really think it's really worth it. So all we need to do, we need to chill in the back and do what this tank is supposed to do. To be sniper schnitzel. I know, weird skill. It is a heavy tank and you are sniping from the back, but hey, you need to do what you need to do, right? And you need to maximize every single opportunity which you can in order to punish enemy forces, right? That's how it works, that's how it goes. And you know me, fellas, this is not the playstyle which I truly adore or which I enjoy. So far, fellas, also quite a funny thing which I want to admit and which I want to highlight. From all those 3 battles which we played, we lost all 3, right? So maybe this tank would perform better with a winning team. But once again, I do not cherry pick the games, right? I am showing the reality, how the games is looking like, and how and how do I feel about everything, right? And about the current game and so on. So far, fellas, first thoughts on the tier 10 is very meh. My friends, it is very meh. Obviously, enemy team is playing better, and in the same time, in my opinion, they're having a better side right here. Schnei, one for the team, beautiful. He took one and he died. Excellent. Okay. What do we want to do now? Now we are simply waiting until enemies will make a bit more pressure right here. That's all I want, that's all I need, fellas. And we will try to boost our performance up to 3,000 or 4,000 combined. It depends on the situation, right? That's a good shot for this guy over there. I'm aiming for another one. We got another shot to this guy. Beautiful. And once again, Arta Splash crew member goes for vacation. Keep this in mind, my lovely friends. Keep this in mind. Speaking about the armor and crew survivability of the Rhino, right? Overall, Italians looks like not a proper heavy tank, but more likely glass cannon. And once again, there is nothing wrong about it, but there is nothing super duper hyper turbo good about it either, right? Okay, although I need to give some kudos for a gun, I don't really think the gun is that bad. Honestly, by having a safe defense parameter, gun can work very well, and it's definitely not the worst thing in the world of tanks. It's definitely not the Chinese gun, if you would ask me, right? It is definitely not a Chinese gun, if you would ask me. Let's wait for 7 more seconds and we can actually start doing the last clip right here, okay? So let's see. Schnei 1, Schnei 2, and let's let him on fire, Schnei 3. Beautiful. I am happy with all this, fellas. I don't really feel bad or something. I am feeling very, very, very well with this situation, fellas. I'm truly feeling very, very good. So we tested it out, and it is like a glass cannon, like I suspected, right? You can do damage from the longer distance, and probably the Rhino is not going to be the tank which is going to play in the front lines. But now we are having a bit of the other problem right here. Skill, what do you mean we are having a bit of the other problem? Well, the thing is, if this tank is going to get matched against the other autoloaders, as an example, Kranwagen can play in the front lines and this can't. So this can impact the game quality overall, right? In the end of the day, I am feeling quite good with this. Although I'm quite curious, well, not this one, I'm quite curious how other guys is playing with Rhino, right? As an example, this guy, right? I'm very, very curious. We are doing this from curiosity. So this beautiful person, he played 9 games with Rhino. He's doing 2,500 damage. That's not bad whatsoever, right? And if we are looking at his Kranwagen, with a Kranwagen, he's doing less. Here we go. So maybe Rhino is a better tank than a Kranwagen. You never know. Time will tell. Anyways, in today's session, we won 0 games. Unfortunately, we managed to get 3,400 damage, which is to the lower part, in my opinion, for me as a player, right? And we got 400 assisting damage. But once again, this is only the start. This is only the first thoughts about this vehicle. And fellas, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is, what do you think about this tank? Do you think it's worth a grind? Do you think it's the game changer? Or do you think it is one of the better tanks in the world of tanks, right? Feel free to share your opinions. It's very, very important. And once again, first peek into Rhino, glass cannon in my opinion, and only one thing which I more likely trust on this tank is the gun. Other than that, I don't trust armor. I don't really like the mobility of this tank, even though on the paper you are going 40. I don't feel like it's epic or something, right? So thank you very much for watching. That was your daily dose of skill, and see you very, very soon, fellas. Skill is out. Peace.